Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we got a tree to finish felling in my father's backyard. That tree was dying several years ago. We rented a lift and got all the limbs cut off of it because it was overhanging the power lines pretty bad, and we just left the trunk. So today my father's ready to get the trunk cut out of there. That trunk is still fairly close to the power line, so we're gonna have to watch that. Probably just do a little wedge cut in it and just make it fall the way we want to. It's not gonna be a big deal to cut down this. We'll get that thing knocked down like it should be. Okay, this is the tree. You can see there's the power line that goes from the pole to his weatherhead to his meter. And this tree, even though it was dying, it was still growing limbs. All these are still green. You can see the bark and everything. This tree's still gonna be plenty hard to use for firewood. That power line's the only issue we got. It could still hit it. It's about, I'd guess about 3 feet from it. I'm just gonna do a face cut a little wedge out of it right here and fall it right through here. It'll be away from that power pole and power line. Okay, I think I'm all set. I've got some wedges back here, little hatchet, got the 660. So I'm gonna go ahead and get set up, do a wedge cut, because we're gonna make this thing fall right where I'm at. It's gonna end up going next to that power line, and there's a propane tank. So we're aiming for right here, pretty much in line with that oak tree right there. Let me get the 660 fired up for a second, get it warmed up, and let's get this thing fell. Okay, it's already leaning pretty good. It ain't gonna take much to get this thing going. There it goes. Maybe not. Okay, as you can see, that thing's leaning pretty good. It ain't leaning towards the power line, and it's not gonna hit the propane tank. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the saw. I've got too much holding wood in there, and I cut too much of an angle on my face cut. So that's why it's holding, but I'm gonna go ahead and fire up that 660, trim just a little bit more out of there, and this thing will come right on down. Okay, well, you can see I messed that up big time. Had the saw too much of an angle whenever I was cutting. There wasn't much holding it, but enough. And we was aiming for that oak. We got close, not quite, but main deal was the power line. I just didn't want it going that way at all because it would have hit the power line. Other than that, it wouldn't even hit the propane tank. So here's the top of it. The propane tank's clear all the way over here. But I guess there'll be a little bit of a learning curve on that long bar. I'm sure that was part of it, just not used to it. So anyways, I'm gonna mark up this trunk every 16 inches. Go ahead and make a little cut to mark it, and then about halfway I'm gonna cut it through. Then I'll take the big tractor, pick the trunk up and carry it off. Go ahead and trim all these little branches off. But let's see how big this trunk is. Okay, looks like it's right at, to the outside of the bark, that's right at 31 inches. So not a tiny tree, but it's still good and hard. That'll make quite a bit of firewood. Okay, well, that wasn't my best work, but it's done. I'm gonna go ahead and take my cant hook, roll that piece out of the way so I can try to get the stump cut as close to the ground as possible. Then we'll take the big tractor, pick these pieces up, and haul them off to the woodyard. So the stump's cut, that wedge got cut. That was a casualty. Oh well. I want to try to pick this stump up, move it out of the way, and I just want to get a measurement on this base and see exactly how big it is, if I can. Oh yeah! Whew! I don't know if you can tell, I'm not a tiny guy. It's come up, it's about right here on me. Poor wedge. That's why you run plastic wedges, just in case things like that happen. Let's see if we can get a measurement across this thing. Right at 43 inches to the outside of this bark. Let me bring you in a little closer. Just get the tape stuck out. So right there, you can tell that's the edge. Get my shot out of the way. That's the edge. We're hooked onto it. Out here, 43 and a half, 44 inches roughly to the outside of that bark. That is a pretty good sized stump. That's an old tree. It's still not the biggest around here. I got one that's substantially bigger that's standing dead down by our family cemetery that I got to get taken down here sometime. When we do that, I'll bring you along for that too, because I'm curious to see how big that the base of that tree is. But anyways, stump's cut, this is chunked up, so we'll get the big tractor with the forks, see if I can get my dad to run it, and we'll get all this stuff picked up and carried off. I'm gonna go ahead and start picking up my mess. Well, there's that tree trunk. The rest of the wood yard ain't looking too bad. There's a bunch of oak logs in here. Sorry, hickory logs in here. Some fairly big ones. These were those stumps we pulled out a few days ago. I've been wanting to get a measurement on them just to kind of see how big of hickories these was. Let me pull a measurement on it real quick. So this hickory stump, 34 inches, 34 and a half. And the other one, this one's pretty good size too. That's 39 and a half up to the top. And this side here, that's 33 inches. Pretty good size hickory stumps. Same with these trunks. These trunks are all 2 foot or more. So quite a bit of wood out here. I'm sure if I was splitting up any smoking wood to sell, that would probably end up being quite a bit of money. But most of this we'll end up chopping up for firewood. It'll, I don't know exactly how much is there. There's quite a bit. I've got another hickory. See the top blowed out of that one? There's a top over to one there too. So I'm gonna have to get all that cut down here soon. There's a lot of dead standing oaks and hickories around this property that we're gonna have to get cut on. Anyways, if you found any of the information helpful, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks.